Lesson number 39 in the 100 jazz violin series. Okay, I said in the last video that I'd get to the 3 weirder modes. And again, I haven't gotten totally into modes here. I don't think of modes too much when I play, but they do exist, and I do smoosh my fingers around. I actually create scales on demand, knowing all 12 notes. And knowing the modes, I'll borrow from each one and make my own up depending on the chord I'm on and what I'm going to do. So I don't really stress modes. It's not a bad thing to know, but I don't think too modally when I'm playing. I just think as a bass player and add the notes that I want to make it sound like I want on top. So that's why I'm not going to stress modes. It gets too theory-y and not enough mechanic-y for me, as I've mentioned in other videos. So the 3 weirder ones is the 3rd mode, which is Phrygian. These all have Greek names. So Phrygian has a flatted 2, a flatted 3, a flatted 6, flatted 7, has more altered notes. So it's similar to the pure minor I mentioned, the Aeolian. Phrygian has one more flatted note, the flatted 2, which gives it kind of a Spanish sound, some people say. There's D major, our standard, so we get where our ear is at. So it's 1, flatted 2, flatted 3, 4, 5, flatted 6, flatted 7, 8. Definitely more Eastern. Let's do it again. The unique thing about this in this key is it's got an easy zone, as I've coined that term in my Fiddle Jam book. I didn't feature this scale. It's too weird for the first Fiddle Jam book, but it does have the same fingering on 2 strings right next to each other, which makes it an easy zone. Got the same fingering, just go nuts. So I like to add open strings where I can. It kind of helps keep the tonal center. Add the first note and the 5th note wherever you can. And comparing it to major. Phrygian. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is Lydian. I personally don't focus on Lydian too much, but some jazz players do. It's simply a major scale with a sharp 4. It's the only one with a sharp note in it. So instead of major, Lydian has 2, 3. And if you're paying attention, the flatted 5th and the sharp 4 are the same note. So this is like having that blues, that devil tone that we learned in the blues scale, mixed in. I even heard like Stevie Ray Vaughan throw that note in sometimes, not just as a blues tone, like. It's got that weird clanky sound. I don't use it a whole lot myself, but some players do focus on that. Locrian is the weird one of all. I call it loco. It's crazy. I'll tell you why in a second. It's almost all the notes are flatted. Flat. Here's major. Get our ears in tonal center. Flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, no 5, flat 6, flat 7, 8. Let's do the 5th in. It's no 5th. So where is this used? It's not used very often in jazz music for sure. You can draw upon it. It's a good studies to just know what all the notes are, because all the modes use all the 12 notes eventually. I hear it in like cop shows, in mystery shows on TV, on this out-of-tune piano. Let's give an example. Like never-ending kind of thing. They're looking for the clues using that. So television theme show writers use that sometimes, that kind of thing. It draws a weird mood into it. It's an unfinished. The reason for that is because D, Locrian, is really E flat. It's really just the major scale a half step up, which is why it feels so discordant and never finished. So there you go. There's the 3 weirder ones. A little bit tougher to memorize, but they're there.